Hi everybody, we've got another solo chicken dinner walkthrough on Vikendi on the PlayStation 4. We've got a southwest to northeast plane path, so I decide to jump far right onto the northwest tip of the island, and I get pretty lucky with the circle on this one, and it allows me to stay on foot. But the subject I kind of wanted to talk about before we get into the meat and potatoes of the last 10 minutes, and while we were in the meat and potatoes of the last 10 minutes, is why PUBG is so addictive. Because it really is. So basically what happened in the game was I haven't come across any players yet, but about now I am, and I've been to a supply drop and obviously got a ghillie suit, and I've got the is it the M24 I think with the suppressor on. I should have done better against this guy, but it jumps up a bit, doesn't it? So I've put thousands of hours into PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. I tend to play solo most of the time. Firstly, on the Xbox, well over 1,000 hours on the Xbox, and now I play on the PlayStation because that's always PlayStation 4. That's always been my main sort of console. I also play PUBG Mobile every now and again, which is good fun. And I have never had a game that I played so much of. Now, my gaming history, my recent gaming history, isn't that long anyway. I got back into gaming. I mean, I'm an old chap now. I'm in my mid-40s. Not that many years ago, when my son gave me his Xbox 360, and I tried out the Call of Duty games, starting with Advanced Warfare. And I worked through the campaigns in the Call of Duty games, and he convinced me to have a go at online multiplayer. And probably at the end of Advanced Warfare and the beginning of Black Ops 3, that's when I sort of really started to enjoy online multiplayer and started to practice and get better and sort of become like that. And then eventually, well, I think probably 2 years into its life cycle, I then got then I got a PlayStation 4 for Black Ops. Yeah, it was still part of Black Ops. Black Ops 3 was still out then. It was around about the Christmas just after Christmas, after Black Ops 3 had come out, and that kind of became my main console. Because my son actually had a PlayStation 4 and an Xbox One. I played on both, and I decided that Black Ops 3 played better on the PlayStation 4, slightly better than it did on the Xbox. So that's what I did. And then I've met hundreds of wonderful people along the way playing on Xbox and PlayStation. But the reason why I ended up with an Xbox was because very much into online multiplayer, Battlefield, Call of Duty. And watching the videos when PUBG came out, I was like, oh, this is amazing. And I was gutted when it was Xbox only. It was Xbox exclusive. So I bought an Xbox specifically to play PUBG. And I have to say, for me anyway, it has been everything that I've ever really wanted in a online multiplayer Battle Royale experience. Not that we really knew what Battle Royale was properly when it first came out. I didn't think we really had a clue, and so it's really clicked with me, PUBG. And I think probably the reason, well, there's lots and lots of reasons, is I like online multiplayers, competitive ones, but I'm an older player, so my Twitch skills aren't that great, plus I haven't been playing on first person shooters since I was like 8, so when I was 8, I was in fact, we didn't even have a computer. I think the first computer I was probably 10 years old. It was an Apple II, it was about 1982, something like that. And there was no such thing as a first-person shooter. Doom was a twinkle in a developer's eye. It was side-scrolling platform stuff, and that was it. But it was great fun. But I've always enjoyed video games, so I don't have this built-up muscle memory for first-person and third-person shooters, which means that I've always struggled with the likes of the fast twitch shooters like Call of Duty. I can practice a lot, and get better and get kind of above average. But what I found with PUBG, especially with solos, because it is much slower, it enables me to play in a more strategic manner, which basically means avoiding everybody. And then just killing a few people at the end. And that's kind of my place, and I really enjoy it. And I think what that plays into for me is this really slow build-up, because probably 50 to 60% of the time I get into the top 10, like in this game. So you've had probably 20 minutes of build up where I've been looting, probably maybe bumped into one or two players, not in this game, but normally I bump into one or two and kill them. This slow ramp up of thinking about, where are the enemies going to be and how am I going to get into that final circle. So it's like a kind of a bit like a game of chess, but where you're trying not to engage other people. You're just trying to slip your pieces into the final battles without actually engaging in people. Because I kind of believe that the problem with online multi-shooters, and PUBG especially, is that every single gunfight can potentially be it can be very random. There's a lot of luck involved, no matter how skilled you are. So if you can avoid gunfights, you avoid the chances of losing one of those through no fault of your own. So this big build-up slowly builds up the tension in my body. It's like a chemical reaction. And then also, when you get into the final 10, like now, we're into the final 6 with me, and I've sort of tucked myself right in the corner. I know there's a guy in front of me somewhere, probably in one of the other buildings. I know there's someone off to my left. You feel that tension start to rise. You start to feel the adrenaline start to flow. So it's a very physical reaction to playing the game, which you kind of I would sometimes get playing Call of Duty, like playing Team Deathmatch or Free For All, when you're like at the top, when you're trying to be top of the leaderboard, or in Battlefield when you're trying to be top, the top player on your squad and win the game, or if it's a really close game in Battlefield. But none of those adrenaline rushes come close to the adrenaline rush for me that I get from solos and sometimes duos and squads, but mainly solos in PUBG. So there's the side of it that maybe one of the reasons why it's so addictive is a physical addiction to the adrenaline rush, that chemical rush that I get from this situation that I'm in now, where I've got to make a decision, I've got to move. I know there's someone off to my right. Am I going to get shot in the back? Are they going to see me? When are they going to move? Am I going to win this dinner? I've been playing this game for 20 minutes, that sort of thing. And then the release of getting the chicken dinner, that satisfaction. So that's a big part of it for me. The build up, the tension, the adrenaline rush, the chemical endorphins, or I don't know what you'd call them, the hormones that are running through your body when you're getting into these final top 10 situations. Because there's not that much going on, is there? If you look at the screen, I can't see anybody else. There's no gunfire at the moment. Why is it exciting? It's purely exciting because I'm in the top 10 and I know what's available. Right, so this guy comes out, so I blat him with my trying to shoot him in the stomach as usual. and yeah, so that's it. Now the other side of it as well, I think, is that I work at quite long hours at my job. I work 5-6 days a week, and undoubtedly PUBG and video games in general are a release from life in general. I think it is a hobby. Now when I say that, I'm not saying I'm rejecting life and what life is and stuff. But what I'm saying is we all have things that we do to take us out of everyday life, don't we? And they're generally our hobbies, and that might be exercising, it might be painting, it might be woodworking, it might be riding bicycles, it might be doing cars up, it might be car racing, it might be doing jiu-jitsu or something like that. But for me, definitely, I think playing PUBG is definitely my hobby, and obviously I relate that as well to my right, we're in the top 3 now, including me. Relate that to creating YouTube videos, and that's very much part of my process, especially now I've got it on the PlayStation 4, where if I get a chicken dinner, literally half an hour later I can knock up a commentary walkthrough chicken dinner video like this one and have it up on the web, in 45 minutes. So that's another big part of it. I think that PUBG has really become this hobby of mine, and it's been very good the way that, well, I say very good, it's been okay the way that Bluehole and PUBG has developed. In fact, we started off with Erangel, then we got Miramar, then we got Sandhook, now we've got, I think, the pinnacle of Vikendi. I remember I'm running this on an original PlayStation 4, dead body there, but with or two left, original PlayStation 4, but with running it on an SSD, and I think that has kept me involved as well. Now, other games do come along. Like at the moment, I'm very much into Battlefield 5, and I'll be playing a lot of that, you know, and I'm consider playing a bit more Apex or playing a bit more Call of Duty. But the fact that with, here we go, prepare to die, my friends. I think with PUBG, you know, the reason why it's addictive is I'm addicted to the adrenaline, and you know, it really has become a really favourite hobby of mine. But anyway, what's your reasons? Do you think PUBG's addictive? Why do you play it so much? Or maybe you don't anymore. Put your questions and comments down below, and I'll see you again soon.